Hey, my wandering wanderers. Today we're going to be doing a cosmic energetic reading for the sign of Leo. So please keep in mind that these readings are based off of whatever the universe wants to talk about. Also be cognizant that energies are fluid and contextual, so if something is vibing with you, please take the time to identify and quantify what this may mean for you, and please take the time to experience and discern this message for yourselves, okay? So we're gonna break into we're gonna we're gonna go ahead and break into the overarching planetary energies for the sign of Leo. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys right now. Like right when I was getting ready to start doing this reading, like I immediately started to hear like the first so many notes of like the Halo opening. So, or like like the Halo theme. So I'm just like, okay, like I don't know what that means, but we're gonna find out. Alright, what is shit? Alright, so we got Chiron wanting to pop out from the edge of this, and Aries. Okay, so we got cards on the left and cards on the right. Let's do... Shit, I'm gonna have to like figure out how to... Does that help? Can you guys even see? Can you guys see? Okay, cards on the left, cards on the right. So this reading has to deal with understanding healing. Understanding this healing, Leo, in the context of who you are. Alright. Okay, so on one end, oh, that's why I heard Libra. Okay. On one side of this equation, or in the physical equation, you are understanding, or this may have something to do with balancing or understanding like how stuff begins and ends in the context of Libra, and understanding how this stuff balance out. Please keep in mind that this physical energetic pattern is it's like it's in unison with one another. Once you understand how to balance yourself out, you'll understand the abundance of understanding what it means, or when it means to start and stop, or begin to do things, or end to do things. It's like understanding when is it time, and this is like in the context of when it's time to do something and when it's not time to do something. That being said, on the other side of the equation, this is like understanding, like mentally understanding when these events occur. This is like understanding what you know and what motivates you and how you take time to analyze it. This could be you mentally understanding the motivation behind this situation. Please keep in mind this situation appears to be very sequential. So it could be A, B, C. Because you balance this, there's abundance, because you're cognizant of how this process stops. This, on the flip side, you're probably going to, mentally, you may have energies that tell you something that you know, and there's gonna be momentum slash, what's the other word I'm looking for? Not momentum, excuse me. motivation and determination for you to do this thing that you know that you're going to do, and it's just something that you are in the process to analyze. Yeah, I'm hearing like do. Yeah, like I do not know why the Halo theme is so important. Like I don't know what Master Chief has to do with this reading. Like maybe it's a new beginning of some sort. Like I don't know. Is this going to be a new game? Like, is this going to be a new start? Like, we're gonna find out. Let's identify some the components and how this is currently configured for you, Leo. This is a Leo reading. This is a Leo reading. Yeah. Something about Halo. Like, I don't know why. Like, Halos are something important. Like, you know, I'll think about that later. Because, like, no, I'll think about that now. Like, when I think of Halos, like, this context and this Halo is more of, like, Space Marine type Halo. Other contexts of Halos is kind of like your, maybe like in the context of like an energetic rank. I mean, like, you know, like in the Bayonetta series, and I know I'm going on a video game rant, but like, think about this, like, usually, like, you know, or at least in the Bayonetta series, like, I know, like, when, like, the angels show up, like, they have their own tier systems based off of the types of Halo that they have. I don't know. I have no idea where this is going, but just maybe this has to do with something of the energetic requirement, which could be classified as a Halo to a certain extent. I mean, your energetic layer, etheric layer, maybe. Yeah, I just keep getting like those, that it's like the beginning of something. Okay, we got a card that flew off over here. So, what is this configuration? This seems like when it comes to this healing and who we are, a lot of these components are inherently linked to it. There's a lot of components that are inherently linked to the process of this balance. Obviously, this process, this abundance of this process has everything to do with your journey, Leo. That being said, let's go ahead and flip it over. Okay, so Leo, the real thing is, what is this sudden wealth in the context of who you are, and how does this apply to your healing? What is this energetic understanding that you're in the process of understanding? What is this understanding of wealth, or what is this new concept of wealth that you're starting to understand and come into? Okay. In the context of your of Mars, in the context of your Mars, how do you see the details? How do you pay attention to the mental details of how this physical emotional embodiment? How does your physical emotions, like, how do you pay attention to the details of your physical emotions when it comes to your motivations or your determinations in this state of being? How do you analyze the difference between when you didn't have this emotional component. How do you know the difference between when you didn't have it before and when you have it now? Do you recognize the difference? The energetic, the physiological difference between when you didn't have it, between when you did? Do you notice the physiological details to, in the context of when you didn't have this lack? Or do you notice the physiological details when you did have the lack? Did you notice the physiological details when you didn't have the lack? Do you see where I'm going here? How do you understand this decision? How do you understand this decision? How are you going about this decision? In the context of this community, what are you understanding from this community? Are you getting feedback from the community from this decision? Is this decision even yours? What are the messages that you're getting back from your own community? What are the messages that you're getting back from other communities? How does this message that you're in the message or messages that you're getting, how do they correlate to balance? How do any of these messages relate to your own rank? How does any of these messages become honorable to you? How is this abundance relates to your current journey? How do you recognize this official person within you? Is this part of your own process, recognizing the official person within you? Just stuff to think about. All right, let's go ahead and identify like the details of this reading for Leo. We're going to be using, I think this is called like the dream symbolism deck. Oh shit. The official person has officially flown off the deck. Officially flown off the deck. Okay. I'm just double checking. So we have the card Insects in reverse. Something about this kid that's got all these bugs on his shirt, but his head looks like Jupiter. So, how do you intuitively understand that you're crawling with abundance? It's like, what is this abundance and what is these bugs crawling all over you have to do with anything? Are you even fazed by these bugs that are crawling over you? Do you even care that this shit's crawling over you? I would say it's a t-shirt, but like the bugs are literally like just chilling. Note that these bugs are actually in formation too. Interesting. But whatever it is, understanding this aspect of insects has something to do with who you are. Okay, Leo? It has something to do with who you are and how you are attracting this abundance. Maybe this is you summoning your squadron, Leo, which totally makes sense in the context of Halo. So maybe you energetically understanding the physical connotation of your emotions and how they're projecting off of you. This could possibly or fair well be key understanding of how to bring in your own tribe. I mean, how else are you going to get information, right? In the context of the sudden wealth, what does this have to do with your home? How do you understand this from a home situation? How does this uproot your home situation? How do you intuitively know this? How do you intuitively know you're home away from home? In the context of your intuition and understanding these endings and beginnings, how do you process seeing through the smoke? How do you see the smoke forming in front of you when this happens? Like, how do you see the smoke forming in front of you when it's time to start something? How do you see the smoke forming in front of you when it's time to stop something? How do you intuitively identify when it's time to start or stop something? In the context of your journey and understanding these fortunes, how do you see these concepts and like how do you intuitively see these concepts or constructs intertwine with one another? How do you see this connection from these fortunes? In the context of balance, how do you intuitively navigate through your thoughts? How do you balance this construct of thoughts? How are you taking time to intuitively overcome this mountain of thoughts? Are you in the process of intuitively navigating through these clouded thoughts? And what have you started to understand from your own process of balancing out these thoughts? Food for thought, Leo, food for thought. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and keep in mind I haven't forgotten that the official person is located underneath the table. I will get back to that in a minute. I will get back to that in a minute. Let's go ahead and check out how things may be energetically correlating for you, Leo. Alrighty. I met a girl in East LA. Okay, so Leo, you got like a lot of current energies in the deck. You must be processing a lot of things. We damn near have every color of the chakra system. Like, let me double check, because if you got a yellow one up in here, like, it's gonna be lit, fam. Nope. Check the bottom. Nope, the bottom we got the Hanged Woman. So this is something energetically that you're becoming aware of, which I get it. Or you could be cognizant of this perspective and how this is being communicated for you, Leo. And that being said, you have, we'll start from the top down. You have Ace of Wands in reverse, Five of Cups in reverse, Princess of Cups in reverse, Queen of Wands, and the Two of Wands in reverse. So, Leo, energetically speaking, you could be understanding the feelings behind a decision that may need to be made. And you could be taking time to understand the perspective of your own beliefs. You could be also taking time to understand and comprehend how does this apply to your new experience of feelings, and how does this new experience of feelings, like how is this communicating to you, or how is this new experience communicating itself to you, and how that may and how you're taking time to understand that based off of you understanding what the actual foundations of these beliefs are. Something about getting in line, getting in formation, getting in alignment. That's something to think about too. Okay. King of Swords. We have Queen of Coins, the Hierophant, Knight of Swords, and Eight of Swords. So Leo, you could be taking time to understand the perspective. Like you could be you could be acknowledging that you do have some foundation of fear, or understanding this foundation of thought that may have originally been holding you back, and this is something that you're starting to understand or process, this perspective, especially based off of understanding your own actions. And that being said, you could be getting a lot of communication, or a lot of a lot of thoughts about how one should go, how one should perceive this, which makes sense, or how one should go about doing this. At the same time, Leo, you are out here having these projections of some form of poverty. Poverty in the context of that's kind of like overextension to a certain extent, and maybe you're understanding why is it that your foundation is not is constantly moving. But by taking the time to understand, or intuitively understand or perceive why that's happening for you, could help you understand what is this concept that you may be projecting. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if your foundation keeps leaving you, it makes you wonder what is it that you're putting out there to make it leave. Because, you do, in life, you do get what you put out there. So it makes you wonder, what is it that well, that's what you're doing. What is it that's making you put this shit out here, that's making you have this lack? That makes sense. Overall, Leo, this reading isn't really, it's not balanced, nor it is cohesive. There's a lot of energetic and intuitive focus towards this process, which makes sense, because I'm guessing there's a lot of internal and it's like, I don't want to say internal, external, but it's like there's a lot, it's internal, external. There's like a internal, external focus on this process, which is good, but also there's a need to understand Mentally, why? It's like physically, Leo, you are like intuitively aware and energetically aware of this process, but also there's a need for you to be cognizant of the mental components or the mental processes that run behind it. And also taking time to understand the source of these feelings that are being projected, so you can actually narrow down why you are projecting this. Keep hearing like it's like it's something about getting in line, getting in alignment with yourself. Okay, Leo? I hope that this reading was helpful for you. By all means, please remember to take the time to evaluate what resonated with you and discern this information for yourselves.